The first time I made the bone myself, I was able to connect with the people I lost. There, the Burmese refugees are resettling from Thailand-Burma border refugee camps. They came to resettle in the US and now they are living in Philly. Basically, they are war victims. Few of them just arrived like a few days ago. They are the ones who have the authentic stories that they can tell the world about what's going on to them. This rib represent my uncles.
Baba, Napa,
They tied up their hands behind their back and then they shoot them to death. When we found them after 1 week, we saw the hands were still tied up and it wasn't untied. That's what I saw with my own eyes.
The vision was to collect 1 million handmade bones from people all over the world that would be installed on the National Mall in DC as a symbolic mass grave and visible petition to these atrocities that go on with very little attention paid to them and next to no action taken. We're doing it to raise awareness about genocide and mass atrocities that have been happening in places like Sudan, South Sudan, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Burma, and Somalia.
This project has an amazing way of just bringing people together. We've had bone making in all 50 states and 25 different countries.
Many tens of thousands of kids have participated.
At first, we thought we were going to use clay or anything, but we're making paper mache. The more bones we have,
how many?
The more stronger it'll be once we put them all together. And it'll be like their whole support system.
I want to give you our final number, but before I do, I want to say this is the highest total we've ever had in just an hour and a half of We visit schools and we ask them to make about 2,000 bones, but we ask them to do that within 30 days. And so with an hour and a half, you guys made 1,948 bones.
We expect it's probably about 100,000 people who have had some sort of participation with the project.
It's been amazing. So 1 Million Bones has been able to get, faith-based groups, students, educators, activists, artists, senior centers, community centers, health centers, service learning groups.
We've had volunteers who have just really taken this project to heart and have taken it to their communities and, really gotten them involved.
The idea was always that other people would make them. It's this idea of a social arts practice where that experience of creating the piece was a big part of the art itself. All you need is this one symbol, and people see themselves in it, they see other people in it, and they make a very deep connection. Sometimes it's incredibly profound. And that's where the symbol of the bone came in, with an overall message that does talk about the gravity of the issue, but reminds us really that we belong to each other.
It just hit me in my gut, and it just seemed like it's just a beautiful idea of having all these bones in the National Mall.
The emotions, the intention, the kind of educational process and that entire experience is, one of the most successful, what I would consider one of the most successful parts about this. Those bones on the mall will be holding a lot there.
When we got involved into the bone themselves, making bones, it was very difficult because it reminded me of my own experience when is all this going to end?
When I'm loading up the kiln, it's just piles and piles of bones. I think this is actually out there somewhere. There are places where what I'm looking at is not an art installation or an art project, it's a reality.
These are the bones that represent the people I love. The first people who come to mind are my parents. I was told that they've been killed by the Burmese troops. I still have those horrible dreams sometimes. So making this bone can represent one of my parents' bone. And that's where I pull out the pain. I guess you can say I pull out the pain and put it into this bone.
Visual aspect can kind of grab people's attention in a way that can be really powerful. It might touch people that might normally shy away or not be exposed to this type of information. I hope it's used as an introduction for a lot of people to further action and to a commitment to resolving these conflicts and doing what you can do in your community.
These are traveling bones. They're moving from city to city to city, from small schools, from churches, from people's backyards. And they're going not to just any location, they're going to Washington, D.C.
I'm an art teacher in Oklahoma, and past 2 years my students have participated in this 1 Million Bones project. Oklahoma sent just over 12,000 bones total, and several different universities and schools participated. I've been driving over 20 hours, so I'm going to be pulling some bones out of my car that I brought with me.
Florida has about 21,000 bones. Chicago, Illinois has about 30,000 bones. New Orleans has about 80,000 bones.
We found our bones from Oklahoma.
20,000 in Colorado, 20,000 in Las Vegas.
My classroom was the only elementary school that participated in the whole state. It was very impactful for the older grades, 4th and 5th grade. I think it really enacts change in them first, and with my students, they could see the passion that I had for it, and that kind of just spreads and it's contagious.
This is the chance, there is no next year. We actually have people representing, people from Michigan, people from New Mexico, people from Oklahoma, New Orleans. I mean, they've come from around the country for this. It's not like we can say, oh, okay, we'll come back next month when the weather's better, or next year. This is it, right now. We've been working, all these people have been working for it for, 3.5 years. So this is the moment, and we grab it.
Thank you so much for coming today. I can't tell you. Okay, but I just wanted to say how much it means to me and that you're staying.
Good. We'll come and go.
Thank you.
It is raining, but I think it speaks of what the victims of the atrocities are going through. I don't think rain stops them from being abused or being violated in any kind of way. So I think it gives you even more of a determination to get this done, no matter what is put in your way.
By you making these bones, by you placing these bones on the mall, by you going to visit a member of Congress or a United States Senator or their staff with a bone in your hand. It reminds them that this is real. This is not, some abstraction. This is for real.
Crimes against humanity and war crime is still going on in Burma, and that's something that I wanted to talk to people about, and of course for them to be able to get the better picture of what they can do to help us make a difference.
Now these bones are coming alive. And people are seeing them coming alive, and they start speaking to people and they start telling their own stories.
This is why we bring you these bones, to bring it forward.
I'll survive this far, and I have to live and tell their stories, to making sure that the people who survive don't have to go through what I lived through. So I guess that's my important message for you.
Bones fashioned by young and old from all over the world. With hands and hearts, today we will lay 1 million bones on this mall. We will lay 1 million bones on the conscience of the world. And when we hold these bones today, we know we are all responsible, one for another. Let us lay these 1 million bones with our hands, with our hearts, but most with our hopes for a better world.
It wouldn't be what it is without every single one of those efforts, every single bone that's been made, every single relationship that's been made. When we talk about it as a social arts practice, it's about this opportunity that people have to become part of this thing that's so much larger, but which absolutely requires their participation in it.
I do believe that every single bone has its own story. They all have their meaning, and to put them here, it's a beautiful thing. But I'm just hopeful that change will come slowly, steadily, and eventually get to the point where we want to see. feel as if these bones are real. The story behind it, the struggle, the conversation, the discussion will have to keep going on. This 1 Million Bone Project is not over. We cannot slow down, we cannot give up.